Hi guys, today I'm going to review what happened during the seventh Democratic debate. The most dramatic moment is also the most awkward and probably the worst moment in any debates so far. The Bernie Sanders Elizabeth Warren feud, and that Elizabeth Warren refused to shake hands with Bernie Sanders, and what happened between them. Like, what did Elizabeth say to Bernie, and how Bernie responded. And I'm going to also offer my theory on who is more trustworthy and what might be going on. All right, let's start by this clip.
Let's now turn to an issue that's come up in the last 48 hours. Senator Sanders. CNN reported yesterday that, and Senator Warren confirmed in a statement that in 2018, you told her that you did not believe that a woman could win the election. Why did you say that?
Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't say it. And I don't want to waste a whole lot of time on this because this is what Donald Trump and maybe some of the media want. Anybody knows me, knows that it's incomprehensible that I would think that a woman could not be president of the United States. Go to YouTube today. There's some video of me 30 years ago talking about how a woman could become president of the United States. In 2015, I deferred, in fact, to Senator Warren. There was a movement to draft Senator Warren to run for president. And you know what? I stayed back. Senator Warren decided not to run, and I did run afterwards. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 3 million votes. How could anybody in a million years not believe that a woman could become president of the United States? And let me be very clear. If any of the women on this stage or any of the men on this stage win the nomination, I hope that's not the case. I hope it's me. But if they do, I will do everything in my power to make sure that they are elected in order to defeat the most dangerous president in the history of our country.
So, Senator
Okay, so I think the first reaction of Bernie Sanders was he laughed, and then he said, "Of course, I didn't say that." I think Bernie is pretty sincere. His response is pretty sincere. His basically, and he offered, all those facts, including like videos of him, saying women could win, and the fact that he didn't initiate he didn't jump in the race when, Warren had a possibility of doing it, and then when Warren decided not to, and then, that's when he decided to join. I think I must give Bernie credits there. It's his, and he also said, whoever is nominated, right, I will 100% support that person. We must defeat Donald Trump. He's not that much of the, ego person, because if you recall from 2015 that he actually backed out, right? I mean, he endorsed Clinton, right? Endorsed Hillary, even though he underwent that many things, right? DNC and Hillary, they screwed him, all right. And but he still, he wanted the Democratic Party to win. So I really respect Bernie on that regard. Let's see what Warren says. And actually, Bernie has another good point. Is that why did you bring this question? This is a question that Donald Trump and the media would like to hear about, right? Well, okay, of course, the moderator is from media. But this is a question that, it's basically letting me fight with Warren. And who will benefit from that? Think about it.
Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here. You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
Oh, that's terrible. So this moderator is terrible. She just asked Bernie Sanders, so you think you didn't say that? And Bernie said, no, I didn't. And then she immediately turned to Warren asking, oh, Bernie, when Bernie said that women couldn't win, what was your response? She's like, calling Bernie a liar, right, on the spot. She's like slapping Bernie on the face. Just say, oh, you just lied, Bernie. Okay. You did say that to Warren. Now, now, Elizabeth, what was your response? That's terrible. And think about why she did that. I mean, that would make this topic. I mean, this topic is gonna really be, catching a lot of attention, right? That's what the media wants.
I disagreed. Bernie is my friend, and I'm not here to try to fight with Bernie.
I disagree with you. Okay, I have to disagree with you because your answer is not sincere. Because you are saying, so you're basically saying, yes, Bernie did say that to me, first of all. And second, I should say, that's number one. And number two, I disagree with Bernie. I disagree with what Bernie said, that women couldn't win. You are basically slapping Bernie badly on the face. You're saying, Bernie, you're a liar, and I disagree with you. And then you immediately say, Bernie is my friend. I don't want this to escalate. Come on. Is he really your friend? Are you really his friend? I don't think you're his friend. Friends wouldn't do this to each other, okay? You're lying. I mean, just based on this, you're lying. I mean, you're not telling the truth. That's very simple. All right.
But look, this question about whether or not a woman can be president has been raised, and it's time for us to attack it head on. And I think the best way to talk about who can win is by looking at people's winning record. So, can a woman beat Donald Trump? Look at the men on this stage. Collectively, they have lost 10 elections. The only people on this stage who have won every single election that they've been in are the women, Amy and me. And the only person on this stage who has beaten an incumbent Republican any time in the past 30 years is me. And here's what I know. The real danger that we face as Democrats is picking a candidate who can't pull our party together or someone who takes for granted big parts of the Democratic constituency. We need a candidate who will excite all parts of the Democratic Party, bring everyone in, and give everyone a Democrat to believe in. That's my plan, and that is why I'm going to win.
Senator Klobuchar.
Okay, I have to say that Elizabeth Warren did have good rehearsed attack line. Okay, so she's making some points and getting some sources. I mean, I give her that, but man, I just can't stand her. I mean, she's I've seen comments saying she's like, opportunistic snake. That's I mean, I feel that too.
I defeated an incumbent Republican running for Congress.
When?
1990. That's how I won, beat a Republican congressman. Number two, of course, I don't think there's any debate up here.
What, wasn't it 30 years ago?
I beat an incumbent Republican congressman.
And I said I was the only one who's beaten an incumbent Republican in 30 years.
Well, 30 years ago was 1990, as a matter of fact.
And Andrew Yang actually came out to say that Bernie Sanders is the one who tells the truth. Let's see what Andrew Yang said. I mean, he did the math.
You've got one. Last night, you were me. You were the rest of us. You were a viewer watching the debate stage, which had to be kind of weird. When were your moments, when the rest of us at our moments, when we're screaming at the TV, pointing our fingers, what were your moments?
I think for me, I'm the math guy. So, when they were talking about was it 30 years ago, I was like, well, if you got elected in November, it was 29 years and 2 months ago. So that was one time I was actually like, someone should actually, do a little bit of math
Okay,
there.
but those are details.
Okay. So Andrew Yang is basically saying, Bernie was elected was actually 29 and 2 months years ago, and so this was the Warrens claim that in 30 years. Right, that was false. It was not correct, and I just hope that Andrew Yang was there during the debate stage, and I would really like to see what he would have said during the debate. But that's okay. I think this might even be better. I mean, he's a objective observer of this political drama. Let's back to this Bernie and Warren feud. Okay, so what happens during after the debate? Warren refused to shake hands with Bernie. Let's see what happens. What Warren said.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
What?
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
Let's not do it right now. You want to have that discussion? We'll have that discussion. You called me. You told me. All right, let's not do it now.
I don't want to get in the middle, but I just want to say hi, Bernie.
Yeah, good.
Exactly. I mean, Warren was really annoyed. So, she waited for an hour or something, and then wanted to say to Bernie, and she refused to shake hands with Bernie. I mean, come on, you just said Bernie's your friend, and now you refuse to shake hands with your friend? Bernie reached out to you. Bernie wanted to de-escalate this, and then Warren refused, and she said something that she had wanted to say an hour ago. You call me as a liar on national TV. That's what she felt. But in fact, it was Warren who called Bernie a liar, right? We just had this analysis. That was just so apparent. And another thing I would like to say is Warren said you need to look at history. Okay, so we need to look at the history in order to tell who lied. I mean, this is a he said, she said situation, right? Nobody was there. So in order to tell who is lying, we need to look at the history of lying, right? Bernie has a history of integrity, okay? But you, Elizabeth Warren, has a history of lying. That's why Donald Trump called you Pocahontas, right? The Cherokee. You lied about your Indian American heritage. You said you have Indian American heritage, and that's what got you the professorship at Harvard, right? I mean, you've been using this to your advantage. And then you did this DNA test, and then you were very happy when it showed 1 out of 1,000 chance that you have this American Indian heritage. And then after some time, you realize that it's not. I mean, it doesn't hold water, and you just deleted the post, right? You realize you were lying. You deleted the post. So it's so apparent now who is lying, and this interaction is also. I mean, it's so awkward. And Tom Steyer was funny. I just wanted to say hi. and I mean, look at Tom Steyer. Tom Steyer shaked hands with Bernie. He didn't even shake hands with Warren. And he also considered Bernie as the truth teller. And then David Pakman came up with this theory. This is by far, I think, probably the most reasonable interpretation. Is that the most likely scenario is that both Bernie and Warren were telling what they believed to be truth. Neither remembers the word for word of what was said, and they have different understandings of what was meant. It still is a fabricated controversy that only helps Joe Biden. I think that's probably close to the truth, except that Bernie was more sincere and Warren was more likely to, be using this to her advantage. Okay, and then David said, that being said, if Warren still actually knows her friend Bernie, he should be saying, based on my long friendship with Bernie, he would never mean to suggest that women should not or cannot do the job of president. That's so true. That's why I don't trust Warren being sincere here. She said, this my friend Bernie, longtime friends. No, you're not. You don't even trust him. You're trying to destroy him. You're trying to, call out him as a liar on national TV, and then you said the opposite. You said, Bernie, you said I was a liar on national TV. That's just so dirty. Dirty politics. Okay, look at the comments. I think Warren is playing identity politics and knows exactly what she's doing. Bernie is winning and she's desperate. Yes, we can see that. When Warren was, leading the poll, that was a different situation. But now she's, going downhill. and this would not help her at all. I think once people realize, once people see exactly who she is, she's done. Okay, she would be the next one to drop out. And if you recall from my big data analysis, that Warren's video has very, very low like to dislike ratios and a relatively low number of clicks. All right, so that's the theory. So I hope that clarifies things. And what do you think? Like and subscribe, and comment below.